That's the whole deal here. Just like I keep telling y'all, this revenue sharing is simply because of the old players. The old players, for whatever reason, they want to make sure that they be able to get some type of revenue sharing, but I just don't think the owners are going to.
In the deeply cynical and fiercely competitive world of professional sports, there exists a hidden hierarchy of power that most casual fans never truly see. While the public believes superstar athletes hold the leverage, and the media often frames labor unions as the ultimate decision-makers, the real power inside billion-dollar boardrooms belongs to elite sports agents. These agents operate quietly behind the scenes as the invisible architects of the financial system. They are not driven by public opinion, social media narratives, or union solidarity. Their only priority is simple and mathematical: securing legally binding contracts that guarantee massive commissions for their agencies. For the past 16 months, the top WNBA agents have watched as the Players Association engaged in a highly public and ideological battle with billionaire ownership groups. But as the league approaches a potentially season-threatening deadline, those agents have lost patience. They believe union leadership has been acting on emotion rather than financial reality, putting the entire workforce at risk. In an unprecedented move, the most powerful agents in the sport have stepped directly into the negotiations, effectively sidelining union executives and taking control of the collective bargaining process. This intervention represents a massive shift in league power dynamics. To understand the magnitude of the shockwave, one must examine the specific high-profile agents who have intervened. This was not a minor complaint from mid-level representatives protecting fringe players. It was a coordinated, strategic power play by the most influential figures in sports management. Their involvement fundamentally alters the balance of authority within the WNBA and signals that the financial future of the league, especially the rapidly growing Caitlin Clark-driven economy, may now be firmly in the hands of these elite power brokers.
If this is true, these are the league top dogs. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, all had their agents send letters to the WNBPA. It said the letter was signed by 9.
The letter was signed by the prominent agents representing Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and Aya Wilson. Let that reality sink in. This was not a random group of frustrated representatives. It was effectively the Mount Rushmore of modern women's basketball. These four athletes symbolize the league's economic engine, its cultural relevance, and its long-term future. When the agents of the most valuable stars in the sport bypass union leadership and demand direct involvement in final-stage negotiations, the message is unmistakable. The superstars no longer feel represented. It signals a belief that the union has mishandled the so-called Caitlin Clark stimulus effect, pushing the league toward a potentially disastrous lockout. In essence, the agents are saying they are stepping in before irreversible financial damage is done. But why intervene now, after months of remaining behind the scenes? Why risk the political fallout of openly challenging the players' union? The answer lies in the complex and highly technical financial structures at the center of the dispute. Public debate has framed the issue as a simple fight over revenue-sharing percentages. However, elite agents understand that the real battle is not about percentages, it is about how revenue is legally defined. The disagreement hinges on accounting classifications, media rights structures, expansion fees, sponsorship allocations, and what counts toward basketball-related income. From the agent's perspective, the union may be fighting an emotional and public relations war, while the owners are fighting a contractual and mathematical one. And in high-stakes negotiations governed by legal definitions and corporate accounting, math, not momentum, ultimately decides the outcome.
Foremost, the most important matter right now. The league is proposing a system where the players would receive about 70% of net revenue. That's revenue after deducting expenses, versus the players are asking for a system where they get.
The owners are offering 70% of net revenue, while the players are demanding 27.5% of gross revenue. To the untrained eye, 70% sounds overwhelmingly generous, almost impossible to reject. But in the ruthless world of corporate finance, net revenue can be a carefully engineered illusion. Gross revenue represents every dollar that enters the league's ecosystem. National television contracts, ticket sales, merchandise, sponsorships, the full top line before a single expense is deducted. Net revenue, however, is what remains after owners subtract operating costs. And those operating costs can legally be structured in ways that dramatically reduce reported profit. In professional sports ownership, expenses can include executive salaries, arena lease arrangements, even if the owner controls the venue, marketing budgets, administrative costs, and depreciation of franchise assets. By the time accountants apply every allowable deduction, a massive media rights agreement, such as a multi-billion-dollar television deal, can shrink dramatically on paper. That is why critics argue that a percentage of net revenue can sometimes translate into far less guaranteed money than a smaller percentage of gross revenue. Union leadership sees this as an accounting trap and prefers a gross-based model to secure a guaranteed share of top-line growth, particularly in an era of rising visibility driven by stars like Caitlin Clark. However, many agents and financial advisors believe there is another hard reality at play. Ownership groups are historically resistant to setting precedents that tie large fixed percentages directly to gross revenue. From their perspective, doing so reduces long-term financial flexibility and control. The tension becomes even clearer when examining salary cap proposals. The salary cap.
Look at the salary cap under year one of the proposals that both sides are proposing. For the players, they would say the year one salary cap would be around $9.5 million. And for the league, it would be around $5.65 million.
The players are demanding a year-one salary cap of $9.5 million per team, while the league is holding firm at $5.65 million. That nearly $4 million gap per franchise represents a divide of close to 50%, an enormous separation this late in collective bargaining talks. When two sides remain that far apart as deadlines approach, it signals more than routine negotiation tension. It suggests a fundamental disagreement about the league's financial structure and projected growth. From one perspective, the union believes the rising visibility and commercial momentum justify a dramatic increase in guaranteed payroll. From the owner's standpoint, the proposed jump may exceed what they view as sustainable within their current accounting models. Elite agents analyzing that $4 million discrepancy may see something even more alarming: the risk of a lockout. In professional sports, once positions harden around core economic principles, especially revenue definitions and fixed payroll commitments, compromise becomes exponentially harder. Agents represent individual athletes whose careers are short and income windows are limited. A canceled season doesn't just delay abstract revenue. It directly impacts endorsement timing, contract escalators, performance bonuses, and, critically, agent commissions.
Get this deal done, everybody's going to be affected. And the reason why these agents is putting in letters is because they getting money off this too. The agents get a piece of all these players' contracts.
Agents typically earn 2 to 3% of player contracts, and that financial structure sits at the heart of this entire situation. The players' union reportedly advised many members to sign short-term deals to align with the current collective bargaining negotiations, which has left a large portion of the WNBA in unrestricted free agency. If more than 80% of players are without long-term contracts, that means most of the league's workforce does not currently have guaranteed salary agreements in place. For elite agents representing multiple players, unsigned contracts translate into delayed commissions. Agencies may still be handling endorsements, branding, and public relations, but without finalized league contracts, their core basketball-related commission revenue remains stalled. If a deadline were to pass without a new agreement, standard labor dynamics suggest that league operations could freeze, including free agency, drafts, and expansion processes. In that environment, agents face strong incentives to push for resolution. From their perspective, a compromised agreement that allows contracts to be signed and seasons to proceed may be financially preferable to a prolonged standoff that produces zero league income. 3% of a reduced salary structure still generates revenue. 3% of a canceled season does not. At the same time, union leadership may view the current moment, particularly amid increased visibility driven by stars like Caitlin Clark, along with figures such as Angel Reese and Aya Wilson,